trying to get it baled here this afternoon, and it's close to being dry enough. Hopefully it will as the afternoon progresses. But a couple videos ago I introduced you to a guy, Clyde Halleck, and today I thought we would continue on with our story time series, and I would tell you about his brother, Clyde Halleck. Now, Clay lived up in the hollow behind the dairy barn in a little block house that my dad and some others built. And he had three brothers. Two of them lived with him my whole life, and then as they got older, he had a third one that moved in with him. And their names were Clyde, Hode, and Frank. Clyde and Hode were there all my life, and they helped a little bit there at the dairy along with Clay at times. Of course, Clay was married too to Murdy. That was her name. But the little block house that they had, they got their water from a dug well, and that's what the story is about today with Clyde. I don't know, it was probably back in the 80s. We had some really dry summers. I remember back around 88, we had some terrible hot, dry weather there. And the dug well, occasionally they would treat the water in it to keep it clean, and every once in a while that well would just about go dry. Clyde Halleck, I'll give you history on him first. I think had schizophrenia. He had a problem and was committed to Athens to the insane asylum. For 27 years, Clyde spent in that insane asylum. And if you're ever up that way this time of the year, you can check that out. I think it's called the Ridges at Athens. It's no longer in operation, but they have a tour there every fall right around this time. They'll have a tour of the asylum and tell you all about its history and how it came to be and why. But really a pretty neat place. We've been to it once. I think my daughters are going back this week. But anyway, Clyde Halleck was there for 27 years until they came up with medication that they could treat him with, and then he was able to come home. And I remember Clyde well. But something I remember about him is he always spoke at a whisper. He couldn't talk. Very, very quiet, just in a whisper tone. And it was because while he was at Athens at the asylum, he was choked, and choked so bad that it ruined his voice for the rest of his life. But that's where the story will start. My dad and I were going up the hollow one day, and we saw Clyde up there at the well, and we wondered what in the world he could be up to. So we drove up, got out, and Clyde was there looking down in that well, and he looked pretty intent, pretty serious about it. Clay was over at the house, so we got out. We asked him, "Well, Clyde, what's happening? What's going on?" And in that whisper voice, he said he had dropped his wallet in the well. I guess he was carrying it in his shirt pocket, and he had dropped it in that well. So we asked him what he wants to do, and he told us to go get Clay. And we went over there to get Clay, and we started to head back towards the barn to try to get a hold of something so we could get back and try to help him get that wallet out of that well. And as we were leaving, Clay was going up that hollow, and oh man, he was mad. He asked Clyde, "Why in the world, what were you doing fooling around there, around that well? Drop that wallet in that well. You just lost everything." He was really hot. And I'll never forget it as long as I live. Old Clyde went to yelling. He screamed at Clay, said a few choice words, and that is the first and the last time I ever heard Clyde speak up. But boy, he was mad enough right at that moment that he was able to really give Clay a good chewing. But that was Clyde Halleck. He spent a lot of his time up there in the holler. He had little chicken houses that he just built out of scrap boards, whatever he could come up with in the way of metal. And he was really a kind of an interesting guy. He's been gone a while. It's just a kind of an interesting little tidbit about some people like they just don't make anymore. Them old Halleck boys, they were something else. But I thought I would share that one with you today. Appreciate y'all watching. We'll catch up with you on the next video.
It started to weep. Yes, said the rider, and laid down his gun.